Maybe we can start now.
Yes.
Anyway, the recording will be shared with everyone. It's 7:15 a.m. here in Uppsala, Sweden. GamakaShri, your time is 10.
It's 10:45 here in the
Right.
morning. And first of all, I would like to welcome everybody.
And which country? You have to tell the country.
Okay, I'm in Sri Lanka. So I'm Chief Trainer and Coach for Mind Designs International here in Sri Lanka. JayaShri was the founder of our organization and still the principal trainer and coach and the consultant. So first and foremost, I would like to say many happy returns on the day where we are doing this program because Jayamini wanted to share on her birthday. So we are doing, this is a sharing session to giving knowledge to everybody that would like to hear. So this is not only for the people who can join live today, but also anybody who wants to look at it later. So I will be making a video out of this and publishing in our NLP Sri Lanka Facebook page and also YouTube channel. So thank you so much for spending this time with us today, JayaShri. So JayaShri, you would see JayaShri is listed as Jayamini Samarathunge in the participants panel, but we call her JayaShri. We've been calling her JayaShri for a while now, probably for 3 years. Maybe we can get to that story in a different day. So feel free to call her JayaShri, and I will hand over the session to her to do her part.
All right. Thank you, GamakaShri, and thank you, Ashan and Miriam for joining on time to this live session. That definitely make me feel much more comfortable to speak to a live audience rather than just doing a recording. So, Ayubovan. So I'm from Sri Lanka. GamakaShri is from Sri Lanka. We are friends for life for last 13 years. And I definitely know it's a friendship that will continue for the rest of my life until I die. If there's anything that I know for sure that will happen in my life, something for sure that will happen. I don't know everything else. that I know GamakaShri will be in my life as my best friend and everything. So, I mean, GamakaShri is, I think, I don't know how that make you feel. Is it too much?
No, I'm quite solid.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. So thank you once again. So we both from Sri Lanka. Mind Designs International is a company that I established in year 2008. That was a time, an era of my life. I was going through a lot of troubles and challenges in my life. I was depressed. If I was to diagnose, I was clinically depressed. And I was physically sick in many ways, overweight. And at that time, I was in a relationship, committed relationship, so to say. And it was falling apart, although it was a marriage that ended up with love at first sight. So I was married to the best person I wanted to get married to. I had a very prestigious job as a sales manager for Singapore Airlines. I was double qualified at that time and more other professional qualifications, but I was depressed. I was extremely unhappy, sad, sick. Something was not right about my life. Long story short, I decided to help myself. And in the process of helping myself, that very desire, very pain led me to a purpose. So I'm a person who lived the last 15 years on this overarching principle, philosophy, or belief system of transforming pain to a purpose. So that was my overall way of living life all these years. Why do I say that? It's different now. It doesn't mean I no longer perceive pain, but I do understand pain, mental, physical, emotional, but it's very differently experienced by me. But that time, this pain, deep psychological pain, which also ended up being a physical pain, relationship pain, spiritual pain, emotional pain, and financial pain. Essentially, the whole life as a young woman at that time, my whole life was like completely collapsing, to say the least. And I had to pick myself up, or rather figure my life out. So that's what I did. And as a result of that, this company called Mind Designs International was formed as a HR training, coaching, and consultancy firm. I can comfortably tell the world that I have trained more than 100,000 of people through individual coaching sessions, group sessions, seminars, webinars, corporate interventions, university programs. I have trained really a large number of people from age 5, children from age 5 to people in 70s, 80s. So my life story was something like that. Then I realized, although I achieved great success at that time, when I started the company, I was quite successful, but something was not going right because of early childhood experiences. Then I started studying about the human mind more. This is where I became an NLP trainer, Neuro-Linguistic Programming trainer, a coach, hypnotherapist, and a master practitioner. So I got the qualifications, but more than the qualifications, I started applying it in my life. So I built almost like a legend back in Sri Lanka, pioneering professional NLP certification training in Sri Lanka. So now there are many NLP trainers, coaches. There's an industry basically. There's a separate industry now. So I'm really glad the country has many coaches and mindset trainers, and working in a mission of helping people work towards success and joy and fulfillment in life using this subject called Neuro-Linguistic Programming. So that's the little history. And I manifested GamakaShri also in my life because I had to go through a separation from my previous relationship. I realized after that separation, the kind of person who could really, will be a matching profile for me. I used the NLP, and then GamakaShri came to my life in 3 months' time. So GamakaShri, yes, you are a product of NLP, and now GamakaShri is actually, he ended up being my protege or the successor. Even my brainchild, if at all, because I downloaded all my knowledge into him. Now he's running the business in Sri Lanka. I'm actually more like a mentor facilitating. So that's our story briefly. I like to now get to our topic today. Once again, thank you so much for joining on my 45th birthday. So I'm 45 from today onwards, officially. And I feel so good about it. I feel really good being at age and feel like an 18-year-old. Okay, so I I have 3 ideas that I like to talk to you today. 3 ideas. Just simply, if I start talking, I can talk for days about this subject, but I want to keep it very simple. And just sort of download these ideas. Feel free to download it by yourself. Of course, when you hear it, and as I send this energy, it will become part of you. Later on, you will have to start applying, rethinking these thoughts again and again on a day-to-day basis in order to sort of embody it. All right. So we can read books, we can listen to people, and collect knowledge. But life will change only when you become an embodiment of your knowledge. Because knowledge is just a script, a code. It's just a set of words. But when you keep thinking, reflecting, trying to using it, failing, redoing, failing, again, re-attempting, after a while, this gets into your muscles, just like you would do personal training to the body. So let me say that first, because I myself would have gone for many personal development trainings, many. I would have comfortably built 3 houses back in Sri Lanka, very good large houses, if I spent the amount of money I spent on educating myself. Really, I believe in education. So educating the mind is very important, but then life will change only when you become an embodiment of that knowledge. So listen very well, right? Make some notes if you want. Of course, the video will be available later on. If it felt right in your heart, if it felt right, keep listening, keep listening, keep listening. Maybe for 21 days, if you like, then things will start changing in your life. Trust me, right? Because your brain, if at all, this is a common knowledge now about neuropsychology or simply about way of living life, that for a new neurological pathway to be created, we need repetition. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you. Sure. Thank you very much. And so, okay, the first point I want to share. This is the first point I want to share. That I am not the body, or you and I, we are not the body. We are not the mind. Or you are not the mind. You and I, we are not the mind. I or you, we have a body. I, you, we have a mind. So let's say I have a pen. I have a pen. I know what it does. I can use the pen to write and to do many things, maybe scratch my head or point at something. I can do many things. The first thing is this. For effortless success, our topic today, effortless success is what I advocate now. Because I've gone through the hells and heavens both, right? If people keep referring to hell and heaven, right? I mean, we are from Sri Lanka. We talk about the concept of idea about hell and heaven. I don't know if any other country does that often. From our childhood, we keep referring to the idea. Our parents even, would terrify us in when we were children, or society or people in power, authority when we were kids. If something goes wrong, if you do something naughty, according to their terms, right, you can go to hell. So that is how they have been controlling us. And we talk a lot about this idea of hell and heaven. Heaven too, right? So people motivate us to do good things that they want us to do by referring to this idea of heaven. And yes, personally, I can say I have lived this idea of hell and heaven both. So what I can say comfortably now is that I can visit hell and heaven if I choose to, but without being affected, because I know I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. So this is the first idea I want to share with you. For effortless success in life, you got to have this belief initially. Initially, it's a belief. Maybe this is not a realization in your life yet. Hopefully, it will become a personal realization. That is my deepest desire and intention and prayer for you, that you realize I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. So whatever happened in my body and mind, I am free. Right? So if you go through a good experience, like a heaven-like an experience, wow, wonderful. However, the next minute things can change. Next minute things, conditions, life conditions can change. And then suddenly you are in experience like hell. So what are you going to do? You will get affected. You will get badly affected if you got identified with the experience of being in heaven a lot, because you thought it's me. It's me, and I am in charge. Everything is fine. But the next minute things go out of control. Now you lose control. So the effortless success that I advocate, which is not the theoretical NLP, this is more meta NLP. Meta NLP, meta means beyond, is to understand that I have a mind, I have a body, I can use it, and I am free from it every time. I'm free from it. I can keep a distance between my life experience, which I experience through my body and through my mind. So the body, of course, gives you the feelings and emotions, right? Sensations. And based on the kind of thoughts that is going in your head, you experience life, you have a narrative about life. So when you keep a distance between this thing called mind-body process, the whole alchemy or the mechanism of mind-body process, when you learn to keep a distance, you are pretty much in charge. When things go right, you are wonderful. When things go wrong, also you are wonderful. You are in your center, right? Now the good thing is, like, of course, we don't want when things go wrong. Naturally, we are wired to work towards betterment. We are wired as beings, as humans specifically. We are wired to bloom. We are wired to make things right. We are wired to solve problems. We are wired to transform pain into a purpose, grow, evolve. We are wired naturally. So when you are detached, when you have a gap between your life experience, which is the emotions, feelings, and the sensations, and the narrative in your head, when you know that I'm not the body, when you have a negative thought, you're not affected. You're just like, interesting. I have a negative thought. I have jealousy. Wow. Oh, I have massive, uncontrollable sexual desire and very funny thoughts. Interesting. Oh, I see. I have a Buddha-like qualities. I've read about this person called Buddha and Jesus. Oh my God, I feel like I'm one of them. Interesting. So you are like the observer of your thoughts, emotions. And the moment you notice the so-called negative stuff, where things go out of control, where you can't succeed the way you desire, right? You have a plan, you have a goal. Now things are going so-called wrong. This is where you take charge. This is how you take charge. But if you keep condemning yourself for your negative thoughts, emotions, feelings, your narrative, you get so attached to your narrative and become one with that narrative, you actually will relive it. You will keep reliving it nowhere. I mean, wherever you go in the world, no developed nation, no millions of dollars, no best of best lovers, no best of best trees and food can save you. No, no. I have been in really luxurious, really good conditions, life conditions. I've been in both, let's say, not necessarily extreme poverty, but let's say middle class lifestyle and good so-called luxurious lifestyle. None of these life conditions, physical conditions, will never actually going to help you sustain and take charge. It gives you some comfort and joy in that moment, but not effortless success towards your life goal. It helps. It helps. Like here, I have the lighting, I have Wi-Fi, I have a very cozy room, I have internet. I mean, I have all the facilities. Yes, it helps. Now, imagine I didn't have any of these things going right on my birthday first thing. It wouldn't have affected me a bit. I would have still worked towards the desire to give something to the world as a gift. I would still do it with a smile, with a talk with a stranger, which I did yesterday. I can still achieve it, right? So that's the first idea. The second idea I want to share with you is there are two ways of living life, conditional and unconditional. So this is linked to the first idea, okay? Conditional way of living and unconditional way of living. You can't digest this idea without having the previous idea. So the previous idea is the first pill, if you like to call it. It's the first pill, medicine. Then the second medicine will start working in your body. The alchemy will start happening. That is, remember, in a given time, you can make your life conditional or unconditional. That is, you can live an inside out or outside in life. Of course, this happens all the time. You and I, we creatures, we beings, this flesh, bone, marrow, decaying beings, right? These creatures called human beings, we animals, we are naturally is a process, input-output process. There are things we see, hear, feel, taste and smell, and vibrations like thoughts and ideas, like narratives or codes that just come and hit our brain like as thoughts. Like, let's say you still remember what your mother told you on your 5th birthday, good or bad. Just this morning, my inner child reminded me of such stuff. Right? No, you're not. Your mother is not here. I'm 45 years old. I'm living in a different country, different life conditions. But my mother's voice is still coming and hitting me. So yeah, so we have the 5 senses and the 6th sense, the mind. So things come and it starts sort of making things happen inside of us in some way. Let's say you see like a beautiful plant. Yesterday I saw this plant. I really wanted to have some roses in my room. Although perhaps it's not advised by the people here because the winter is coming. I just wanted to have some garden feeling here inside my room. So you see something nice, nice. Let's say you see some dirt on the road, right? So this is always stimulus response. We are a process. That is conditional, like things happening outside affecting you. You remember what your teacher once said many years ago, which made you hate a particular subject. And you started hating the teacher throughout the life and similar people. Conditional way of living life. Conditional way of living life. You see a piece of news about your country or society, you start developing this bad feelings about the world and the society. Conditional way of living life. It was just a piece of news. Someone just felt like broadcasting that idea to the world, which is not absolutely true. We know it, you know it, we all know, and none of these things. Even whatever I'm saying, this is not absolute truth. This is partially true. For someone else, this is like nonsense, bullshit. What are you talking about? Alien language. Yeah, because if you have never exposed to this kind of ideas and philosophies, you can't relate. So please understand, whatever we are taking in from the outside, it's not absolute. It's the way you decode it. So that leads you to live a more what? If the conditional way of living, if the environmental conditions are making you feel not successful, unpleasant, unhappy, less confident, less satisfied, less loving and compassionate, less purpose driven, less motivated, if that is the case, it's time to remember me, or what I said, shared, or anyone else shared about the same idea. That is to go inside and start living more inside out life, or we call it unconditional way of living. 3 years ago, I went through death. This is why GamakaShri said it's a long story. Jayamini Samarathunge, it's my name given by my parents, but now I like to be called JayaShri. That's so-called the name given by me to myself after that death experience. So I was dying. In that very process of death, I could fully realize I was never my body. I was never my life experience. I was never what my parents told me, society told me. I mean, I am nothing. So this is the third idea. You can have effortless success when you can't, at least initially, just like a seed of a plant. I'm nothing. You're not, like, we are absolutely nothing in a given time. Nothing. And because we are nothing, it's nothing, right? Like, there's nothing inside here. See, but I had to use my hand to show nothing. Do you get that? Isn't this the irony of life? I had to use my hand gesture to show nothing, because nothing does not exist without something. So we are just something, because deep inside we are absolutely nothing. So effortless success. This is, I call, this is meta NLP. If you happen to get trained on NLP with us or go through some coaching, we will do this mind programming just like we would do computer programming. Let's say you want to pass an exam, we have tools. Let's say you have a fear, we have tools. Let's say you have fear of public speaking, we have tools. Let's say you broke your heart in previous relationships and you can't trust again, we have tools. Let's say you have a traumatic memory, we have tools. Right? Let's say you have a habit and a bad, like really a bad habit, we have tools. That's a different, like that's the main school of thought of NLP. That's what NLP is all about. What I'm advocating now is meta NLP. That is something beyond. Sounds more philosophical and perhaps even spiritual. But this is grounded on those psychological principles that I have learned. So I want to share this last piece of idea and sort of put things together. You can go towards effortless success. Like that's my life story. I have gone through life by putting a lot of effort and succeeding, feeling very tired, and finally giving up everything. That's what happened 3 years ago. Like finally, I gave up everything, including my best friend too, relationship, money. And I went into seclusion, started meditating, expecting to, self-realize. Of course, something happened, whatever that happened after meditating for 8 months, right? Um, and something happened anyway. And I went through this experience called death. I was fully alive. Nothing was wrong. Before that, also, I have had some near death experiences, but this time I was very conscious and I was dying. Then I realized like there's really no one to die. So yeah, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. Keep these ideas in your head quite often, especially when you feel stuck, right? When you judge others or judge yourself for something going wrong. Also remember when you are succeeding, because sometimes we become very egoistic when we succeed, like very, very egoistic. Oh, I did it, my success. No, it's a natural phenomena. When things come, when many things come to play, flowers bloom. When the right fertile soil, the flowers bloom. If the soil is not fertile, flowers don't bloom. It's that simple. So success and no success or failure equally is a result of certain chemistry and alchemy of the way we deal with our mind-body system. So effortless success make you remember you are nothing almost all the time background. So when things go wrong, you're not affected. And you can start using the mind just like you would use the pen for the intended purpose. If you think I am the mind, I am the body, this is me, this is happening to me, you become a victim. It's happening to me, life is happening to me, they are doing this bad to me, this government is destroying us, these parents are not helping us. We become victim. And it hurts. It really hurts this thing called beautiful structure called body. It hurts, it gets sick. It can't function fully. It really can't function fully. So how can you achieve what you want when you can't function fully with this beautiful vehicle? Of course, we become less successful. And success become like an effort, anger, stress, competition, manipulation, all types of, painful stuff for ourselves and others. I've done that. I've done that. It hurts. It can't help. It hurts because you are working towards something that you think you really desire and you're worried someone would take it away. So a lot of stress hormones, and then that makes you even more sick. And let's say, like in my case, I ran a marathon at the age of 26 and 27. I hit many milestones. I was like, oh, egoistic. So because I was ahead of pretty much in the family, I was ahead in the university group, the batch, whatever, I was ahead of. Between me and my that time partner, I was ahead of the game in money and prestige and recognition. And I'm like, okay, I passed the hurdle. I become the number one. I ran the race, and then I look around, I'm alone. And I'm like waiting to celebrate. No one's around. Even there were matching people around. I was like, what's going on? I'm not happy. I still remember those moments of getting that nice car I wanted. It was in my garage. Just I did only what the work I needed to do because I knew the stuff, right? And it's like, it's in my garage. Ah, okay, I said. And I met the most wonderful lovers. Ah, okay. And I had money. Ah, okay. It was like that. So The process of achieving is very important. I want you to know it's the most important thing, the process of achieving things. And remember the three ideas. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, like a mantra often, right? This is the first step towards effortless success. Second thing, there are two ways of living life, conditional way of living life and unconditional way, that is being affected by the external circumstances and feeling like a victim. And then being part of the external condition, like become one of the herd or majority of the population who are affected. We also become part of the collective pain. Or you know you need to help them because you know the pain. You know how painful it is to be in that place. You somehow detach yourself and remove yourself from the herd or the group consciousness and self-realize, become a Buddha on your own terms, right? Or the Jesus or whatever the label you want to call it, right? Become self-realized and create a more inward out life or unconditional way of living. Then when you walk around, people start liking you, loving you, following you. People will say, you inspire me, without you even sometimes saying a word. Success will follow you. That's what happened in my life. Success followed because I've gone towards success and achieved. I was not very happy. But then I had this so-called death experience where I started calling myself also a new name, JayaShri. That is a way of living life. That way of living life is what I'm advocating. Like, you just be and success follows. You do only what is right for you. Not what is right for the society, parents. No, what is really right for you. Way of living. So it's effortless. It's effortless, right? So the third idea combined with it is pretty much the same thing in a different way, that I am nothing. We are nothing. And because we are nothing, we are something. Because nothing cannot exist without something. Something and nothing is like a beautiful place. The one we call I, me, is free from all that drama. It's a place where you can see this on a screen, just like you've seen this. This way of living life, after a while, you can make your physically this brain or the machine, then the other machine, important machine, heart. Then there's also a different machine that's towards your lower part, the gut, right? So I'm also a Qigong trainer. So for me, there are three brains. There are three brains. This one, and the lower one. So you can have a nice balance in this three brains when you realize it. And you after a while, these three brains will talk to each other and will take your life where you love to go. Effortlessly. Less and less stress, more and more happy hormones, more and more serenity, serendipity, comfort. Even in the worst case scenario, for the people who believe that they are the body, that I am the body, this is important. Death, even in the experience of death, you are free. You're free to choose. That's what I did. When I was dying, I made a choice. I could have gone. I don't know what's on the other side. I really don't know. I mean, how can I know? I came back. I made the decision to sort of relive Jayamini's use Jayamini's body and her programming to create a new life. I had the choice. Yeah. So I like to wrap up with that. I told you I can keep on talking. Thank you so much for listening. GamakaShri, if you have any questions, please ask, or any thoughts you can share, since we have limited time left. And Asha and Mariam, if you have any specific questions, please put down specific questions. Please put it down on the chat. Hopefully, when we answer that, it can benefit many others.
So I can share something parallel to what you said. So first one I have realized after working on myself and also working with clients is larger the goal, easy it is for you to have. So when I was very young, like I'm introvert, you know that. I'm a big time introvert and I'm very high ID. So I live in my head a lot. So I was reading a book when I was young, maybe 15, maybe 14 at that age, and it was a sales book. So I knew sales is important, but I never really got into anything about sales. And one important thing the book said was, it's empty or it's very lonely at the top. It's very lonely at the top, and there's always even though so many people are trying to achieve things in life, very few who at the top actually get results. So that looks true. And then when I was working with clients, and sometimes clients would be like, say, if you take addiction and people try to have realistic goals, like, okay, I sometimes I get clients who say, okay, I want to not stop smoking or stop some sort of addiction. They want to control that. Realistically, I smoke about 20 cigarettes a day, but I would like to bring it to 5. And there are some people who would say, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm over with this. I'm going for a new lifestyle. I'm making health my priority. The second guy has much higher chance of achieving it than the first guy. First guy who's trying to be realistic. Okay, I have addiction. I'm trying to control my addiction. It will be hard. And the second guy is like, okay, I made the decision. I'm done. People who set goals to achieve really high outcomes, they usually achieve them. And most of the time, they don't even know the first thing to do, right? They might decide, and nobody's there. Like, they might have to carve their path. But I have read this beautiful quote from Rumi, like, when you start the journey, when you start on the path appears, and there's this beautiful picture of a boy and an elephant. I think somebody created this visualization. So they're traveling along the path. They can see the next step. They don't see the rest of it. And that's how that path had been creating. The path had been creating just because you start walking along that. So that had been an experience for me. And there are many times in my life I had to wonder, okay, what do I do now? How do I solve this? And then I would try to do something. But the solution actually came when I stopped worrying about it. And somebody else would bring a much better solution, something that I could not have thought myself. So yeah, getting myself out of the way. I think we are talking about the same thing in
That's
different
amazing.
words.
As always, you come in and give the more realistic technical perspective, because you are technically a software engineer and architect. So you speak head stuff, I speak hard stuff. So this is how our combination always works. GamakaShri, you're so true. In my life, like coming to Sweden and having this opportunity to do great research and to be one of the best universities in the world and in Sweden, all this happened. I did my work, but I did not know a thing as to what I'm going to do. Like last year, this time, if you can remember, I was only wondering, what's next. I feel like something's bigger waiting for me. Feel like I knew it's about going on the academic direction. I mean, researching mostly and studying, but not in Sri Lanka. I did not know a thing. Then saw the Facebook post, and the friend tells me about the scholarship, and I acted without with zero expectations. If you can remember, you remember, right? Even getting the first priority housing, school housing, like apartment, really the best housing area, like whatever, right? I had zero expectations. I knew what I wanted. I felt right about it. I just acted on it. And then, of course, getting the visa or resident permit card or whatever, right? Like everything just was flowing. I did the work, but it was effortless. It was effortless.
And
Yeah.
something I wanted to emphasize is when you say effortless, it doesn't feel like work.
It doesn't feel like work.
It's
It
a
doesn't feel like
lot of the time people think, okay, I'll go to my dark room, stay there and say these things, and I would get this. It's not that. Like there'll be physical uh, action that is taking place, but those actions you might not even be able to conceive right now. You might not even have heard of them right now. You'll be doing them. You'll be
yeah.
so joyful. You'll be so happy. You'll be so driven. It doesn't feel like
And
work.
you remember I am a person, I was a person who worked 24/7, right? Like I didn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. But can you remember before I left also I was telling you, like, is it a miracle that I'm alive? Because I cannot remember like a good time of my life I slept. Literally, like my brain is working. Maybe it's working towards something so wonderful. And it's a miracle that it still exists according to the expect like said norms and scientific theory. Like you're supposed to sleep like this, all that. Even after not sleeping continuously, like for a few days, next day I have a thumping amount of energy to do many more things. You remember that? It's still the same. Of course, I sleep very well. Here, that's a different thing. So yeah, you're detached from things. That's all what I can say. Like effortless means, no, don't take it wrong. Effortless means it's not all yeah, all good. No, it's just hormones. Yeah, he. It's just hormones, your hormones creating emotions. Effortless is like more, you are in the center. And things flow this way, things flow that way. When you want, you can intentionally navigate stuff in the direction you desire. You have more control. With that, I like to wrap up. And oh, right, a question. Wonderful. Thank you. I was waiting for a question. Great things you reminded me of. Can you please repeat the three brains, head, gut, and oh, yeah. So, head, heart, and yeah, gut, the navel area, where both men and women create babies. I mean, our main creative center, the sexual center, sexual energy, right? So, and yeah, okay, your heart. So maybe a technique. Ah, okay. How good. I over listen the heart. I really like you. You know how to converse. Thank you. I don't know what profession you are in, or maybe you're thinking of going towards a new profession, Miriam. If you have been considering, okay, let me just do some energetic reading for you. If that's okay, right? Um, if you have been considering changing professions or um, way of living, mainly profession, the word profession keep coming, profession or livelihood, what you do to earn money, let's say. If you have been really thinking about changing it, do it. That's all I can tell you. You can reach out to me or GamakaShri for any help, right? Yeah, there. Um, we want more and more people come into the new world, the new earth. We visit both. We are living in both earths, the old earth, the new earth. We are like because we are free to travel around. But we actually like more and more population living in the new earth. That's perhaps our so-called universal job. as teachers or coaches. It's just a job role. It's not me, it's not us. Anyhow, before I forget, please, GamakaShri, you will be the happiest, of course. You know my condition. I had a condition, like a genetic condition, which I had close to 1 year for August, if you can remember. I think it was inherited from my wonderful dada, my father, a beautiful, beautiful man. I love him very much. I know he does too. Of course, this biology is a gift. It's like a pen drive, you know, you put things into a pen drive and give someone to plug and play. So our body is something like that. We have borrowed the DNA codes, the information from our parents, right? So in that programming, I had a condition developed, which really was very uncomfortable for the body. Let's make it very straightforward. It's called eczema. I think it's called eczema. Like it's a skin condition. It's coming from my father's side, and I experienced it last year, and I was like, wow, so give me a break, because I'm a person who like to walk barefoot. I go to do gardening. I love to walk. And I mean, disaffected, irrespective of the fact that I had it. I went to the gym. I did a whole lot of walks, but it was really painful. Long story short, even after coming to Sweden, in the first few days, I was wearing socks. I had to ask the housing cleaning people to come and do a special cleaning for my carpet. Of course, yeah, a lot of stuff. But I found this beautiful country enabled me to figure it out. I knew the technique. I mean, I've been teaching. I have not practiced that on me on that part because it was a generational wound. So I was able to, within 2 days, settle that condition. I'll teach that perhaps in a different video training, a Zoom training, GamakaShri, maybe the next one, how to heal physically. We'll schedule that, please. Yeah. Every month. Of course, we used to do this anyway in Sri Lanka. So let's, in the next month also, let's do that. Yeah. Okay, Ashan, let's do it. I have a job, but I only work for 5 months. I'm a nurse. The other 7 months I live in Sri Lanka. Oh, I'm not able to work. Still not. I see. Right. So again, what I can tell you is, like, if life is directing you in a new path, just go on that path. I mean, just walk. Just walk. Just do the first thing, whatever that first thing.
If I can get 2 minutes, I'd like to add something.
Yes, please.
Something I have learned, I think very recent, like it's very strange because there are things you know, but it get registered to you when things happen. I have learned not to look for solutions, not to solve problems using the old solutions. So I had this healers collective, and then things happened, it got dissolved, and I was like, okay, I'm going to reestablish that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to find a few other people and do it. And recently I realized, no, that came through because very specific circumstances. Now I am looking for a past thing that doesn't have a context. I need to be very open to the new thing. So far as I'm stuck on the past thing, I have closed the doors for the new thing. So Mariam, maybe you can look at the new thing for that 7 months.
That's wonderful. Thanks everyone for joining us live, real time. It has been 8:08. Time here is 8:08. Oh, wonderful, right? So much love and blessings to all of you watching now and whoever watching later. Energetically, intentions will serve the purpose that we have intended for. That is to help you create effortless success as a human in this time-space reality on Earth, in this school called Earth. Effortless success, to create that effortless success and be an advocate and an example for many, many other people, to heal the generational wounds, to heal the past by being in the present. And through that, we are creating something magnificent for the future. Future naturally is an outcome of we living in the present fully, knowing I am nothing and something at the same time. Much love and blessings. JayaShri, JayaShri,
JayaShri,
JayaShri.
JayaShri, JayaShri.
Okay.
So JayaShri is also a way of greeting. It's like a mantra, new mantra. Okay, bye-bye. Have a wonderful day, everyone.